Ancient humans, though regarded as ancient, were far more intelligent than we could have ever imagined. Every day new research is found, revealing feats that humans today cannot replicate. Their focus and attention to the smallest details proved they possessed an innate understanding of whatever they pursued. Whether in astronomy, architecture, or something more mystical, the ancients excelled at their craft. Here are some of these incredible archaeological discoveries. Number 15. Severed head of the Maya maze. Back in the bad days of 2022 during COVID, archaeologists from Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History uncovered an extraordinary find in Palenque, near the Usumacinta River in Chiapas. Palenque is already renowned for its exquisite Mayan architecture and intricate relief carvings, but this find is great because it is a stucco sculpture of the severed head of the maze god. The head had been deliberately placed in a small pond, believed to represent the entrance to the underworld. In Maya belief, the cosmos was divided into three realms: sky, earth, and underworld, with portals linking them. Crafted to appear freshly severed, the piece was not part of a larger statue, but created in this form, mounted on a tripod and aligned east to west. Experts suggest this orientation symbolized and encouraged maize fertility. This artifact deepens our understanding of Maya ritual practice, showing how agricultural prosperity was intertwined with cosmology and reflected in offerings of extraordinary symbolic power. Number 14. Queen Puabi's headdress. Around 4,500 years ago, much of present-day Iraq was ruled by Queen Puabi, a powerful and enigmatic Sumerian monarch. Her tomb was found in the 1920s and contained lavish treasures, including a gold-plated headdress of superb craftsmanship. Analysis showed she died at about 40, and her burial goods were displayed in museums worldwide. For decades, her life remained a subject of routine scholarly interest until 2010, when author Zecharia Sitchin claimed Puabi was proof of extraterrestrial genetic intervention. He argued she was a product of alien-human hybridization intended to increase intelligence and lifespan. Confident in his theory, Sitchin petitioned the British Museum to conduct DNA testing on her remains. The request was refused, but the denial only fueled speculation among ancient astronaut theorists. Although mainstream archaeology dismisses the claim, interest in examining Puabi's remains continues, with proponents believing she could be the most compelling example of supposed alien involvement in early human civilization. Arthur is one of the most famous legendary heroes of England, no small distinction for someone who may never have truly existed. If he did, he might have been acquainted with this amazing discovery. A rare ancient brooch, Romano-British in design, found in a Cornwall field just a mile from the remnants of Castle Killiberry Hill Fort. Legend claims Killiberry was once Camelot, Arthur's seat of power. Those who believe in Arthur's existence have speculated that the brooch could have belonged to Guinevere, his queen. Crafted from copper alloy, it has been dated to the 5th or 6th century, aligning with the era attributed to Arthur's life. Whether it was the possession of Arthur's queen or simply a wealthy woman of Cornwall, it remains an exceptional find. Its location so near a site tied to enduring Arthurian lore only deepens its intrigue, keeping alive the possibility, but unlikely, that it once played a part in Britain's most famous medieval legend. Number 12. Vindolanda Graffiti Stone. The Roman fort of Vindolanda is one of Europe's most renowned ancient military sites and has been under continuous archaeological excavation. Back in 2022, archaeologists found a 1,700-year-old stone bearing carved graffiti. Among the markings was a phallus, proving that the crude drawings men make when bored have hardly changed in 2 millennia. Alongside it was a Latin inscription reading Secundus Cacor, essentially an insult implying Secundus spent much time in the latrine. The identity of Secundus is unknown, but possibilities range from a fellow soldier to a disliked commander. The graffiti could have been a jest among comrades or a deliberate affront to authority. If the latter, it's easy to imagine Secundus's displeasure upon discovering it. The stone was likely buried soon after, perhaps to conceal the offense. The find offers a candid glimpse into the humor, tensions, and daily life within the ranks of Rome's northern frontier garrisons. Number 11. Ancient Greek Yearbook Inscription. Well, again, back in May of 2022, an old inscription described as an ancient Greek graduation yearbook came to light in Scotland, though it had been stored unnoticed in a museum vault since the 1880s. Carved into marble, the text lists names of those who took the ephebic oath in Athens over 2,000 years ago. The oath was sworn by young men entering the city's military academy, and graduating was a prerequisite for full citizenship. Such records served as proof of civic rights. This tablet records 31 names, likely representing a single class who enlisted and trained together. The discovery not only sheds light on Athenian civic and military traditions, but also reveals how citizens commemorated milestones much as people do today. Its long period of obscurity and storage makes its rediscovery significant, offering modern historians direct evidence. Number 10. Temple Mayer's Wooden Offerings. Temple Mayer has already yielded many remarkable ancient relics over the years. Once the spiritual heart of the vast religious complex in the Aztec city of Tenochtitlan, its remains now stand as a major archaeological site in Mexico City. Experts have excavated here for decades and expect to continue for many more. Back in June 2022, they confirmed the discovery of more than 2,500 wooden artifacts believed to have been left as religious offerings. The variety is striking: figurines, headdresses, masks, jars, earrings, and scepters, likely placed by priests in the 14th century to dedicate the temple to the Aztec gods. Wooden objects rarely endure for centuries, yet these survived in exceptional condition due to the region's high humidity and the soil's oxygen-deprived environment. This collection offers a rare preservation of perishable ceremonial items, providing valuable insight into Aztec ritual life and the craftsmanship that imbued their sacred spaces with both spiritual and artistic significance. All right now, let's move to Number 9. Papua New Guinea Artifacts. Archaeological research in Papua New Guinea has historically been limited, but now that is changing. Back in 2020, researchers announced the find of a set of 5,000-year-old artifacts that reshaped understanding of the island's Neolithic history. Found at Huayin on a mountain slope in Jiwaka Province, the collection includes farming tools and objects used for arts and crafts. These finds confirm that agriculture and skilled craftsmanship developed in Papua New Guinea around the same time as in Eurasia. The artifacts demonstrate a sophisticated culture capable of cultivating crops and producing specialized tools between 4,200 and 5,100 years ago. How such developments occurred almost simultaneously across such vast distances among communities with no known contact remains a mystery. The discovery raises questions about whether this represents an example of parallel evolution or if proof of some ancient connection. Number 8. The Gallo-Roman Sanctuary in France. In early 2022, a Gallo-Roman sanctuary was found near Brittany. While the temple itself drew interest, its contents fascinated historians even more. Chief among them was a remarkably preserved Roman bronze cup, its surface still bearing a depiction of Jupiter, and a figurine of Mars still attached. The cup's design is unlike any previously seen, featuring thunderbolt motifs on the curves between its handles. The sanctuary likely dates to shortly after the Romans arrived in this part of France, around 2,100 years ago, and appears to have remained active for nearly 5 centuries. Excavations also revealed remnants of a Roman public bath just beyond the temple. Although much of the structure is gone, Archaeologists identified the Hippocaust underfloor heating system, once used there. Together, these finds illustrate the merging of Roman and local traditions and the enduring role of monumental sacred spaces in provincial Roman life. Number 7. The origins of the Black Death. The Black Death, history's deadliest pandemic, ravaged Europe between 1346 and 1352, killing an estimated half of its population. For centuries, its origin remained uncertain. Recent research may have pinpointed its source to the area near Lake Issyk-Kul in present-day Kyrgyzstan. Burial records from the nearby cemeteries of Burana and Karajigak show a sharp spike in deaths during 1338 to 1339, with pestilence recorded as the cause. Scientists examined remains from 3 of these graves and identified the bacterium Yersinia pestis, the pathogen responsible for plague. From this region, the disease likely traveled west via trade routes, reaching Europe aboard merchant ships. This discovery reshapes the narrative of the pandemic's early spread and narrows its point of emergence. While rats were long blamed as primary carriers, evidence now points to fleas as more probable vectors, altering how historians understand the mechanisms behind the most catastrophic health crisis of the medieval world. Number 6. Khufu-linked temple remains. King Khufu, also known as Cheops, ruled Egypt around 4,500 years ago and is credited with commissioning the Great Pyramid of Giza. His reign is shrouded in both history and legend, making any relic tied to him especially valuable to Egyptologists. Recently, archaeologists in Cairo uncovered the foundations of the ancient Temple of the Sun at Ain Shams, along with large stone blocks engraved with markings linking them to Khufu's era. Most of the finds are fragmentary, yet experts believe they include remains of a courtyard, a pedestal from the reign of Amasis II, and several altars. The stone blocks are of particular significance, as they may have once been part of a monumental structure near the pyramids. It is possible that this building was dismantled and reused during the Ramesside period, and perhaps even stood where one of the pyramids now rises. If so, it connects Khufu's architectural legacy beyond his most famous monument. Number 5. Inca knots. The quipu is often likened to an ancient computer of the Americas, though that description isn't entirely accurate. Developed by the Inca, it served as a sophisticated tool for recording and transmitting information. So effective was this system that the Inca never devised a written language, instead relying on quipus as their primary medium of communication. The device consisted of long cords knotted in precise patterns, often in various colors, though monochrome examples have been found. High-ranking officials used them to track debts, document events, and compile census data. Evidence also suggests they conveyed covert messages during wartime. Despite decades of study, their complete decoding remains elusive. Researchers think a knot at the top half of a cord represented higher numbers, from tens to tens of thousands, while knots placed lower indicated smaller figures. An 8-shaped knot signified the number 1. While half understood, it is the most amazing record-keeping system in pre-Columbian history. Number 4. Bar Kokhba Revolt Coin. Ancient coins are common in Jerusalem, with over 22,000 recovered to date, but only 4 can be firmly linked to the Bar Kokhba revolt against Roman rule. Of those, one stands out, a bronze coin inscribed with the word Jerusalem. Minted over 1,900 years ago during the revolt that began in 132 CE and lasted 4 years, the coin represents a bold act of defiance. Rebel forces stamped their own symbols onto existing Roman currency, replacing imperial designs with Jewish imagery. This coin bears a cluster of grapes, a date palm, and the inscription, Year 2 of the Freedom of Israel. Whether Jerusalem itself was captured remains debated, with some accounts claiming rebels held the city, while others insist they remained outside its walls. Regardless, the coin symbolizes resistance and national identity, marking a pivotal moment in Jewish history during one of antiquity's most determined, though ultimately unsuccessful, uprisings against Roman authority. Number 3. Sangsingdui Bronze Box and Sacrificial Pits. The site of Sangsingdui in Sichuan Province, which is in China, has revolutionized knowledge of the region's 3,000-year-old culture since its surprise discovery in the 1980s. In June of 2022, archaeologists revealed 6 newly opened sacrificial pits containing over 13,000 artifacts. Among them was a bronze box adorned with jade, featuring a turtle shell-shaped lid and dragon head handles, a type never before found at the site. Its function remains unknown. Other treasures included a bronze statue of a crowned snake and a bronze altar depicting a sacrificial scene. The quality and complexity of these works demonstrate the advanced artistry and metallurgy of the Sangsingdui culture. Despite such achievements, the reason this civilization disappeared so completely from history is still a mystery, with no clear link to later societies. These amazing finds enrich our picture of an advanced and distinctive culture, suggesting its influence may have reached farther than surviving evidence can yet confirm. Number 2. Pembrokeshire treasure find metal detecting can be an exciting pastime, though in the United Kingdom it comes with the possibility that the Crown may claim your discoveries. If declared treasure, the items must be surrendered, with only a finder's fee as compensation. This is a reality well understood by detectorists in Pembrokeshire. Recently, they uncovered a hoard of gold and silver rings from the 12th century, along with a post-medieval brooch, thimbles, and more rings. All have been officially classified as treasure, requiring finders Jake Webster Von Roberts and Lee Evans to relinquish them or face legal consequences. The Scolton Manor Museum and Narberth Museum have already expressed interest in acquiring the artifacts for public display. While it's gratifying that such pieces may be preserved and appreciated, the fact that the finders have no control over their fate leaves a lingering sense of frustration, a reminder of the balance between personal discovery and cultural heritage preservation. All right now, let's end this with Number 1. Chavín de Huántar. The temples of Chavín de Huántar in the Peruvian Andes, dating to around 1000 BCE, are a labyrinth of stone corridors engineered to create powerful acoustic effects. Visitors navigating the tunnels would hear amplified, disorienting sounds, a deliberate design to inspire awe and confusion. Combined with the mind-altering substances administered by the Chavín religious elite, these sensory experiences convinced many that their leaders possessed supernatural powers. Archaeologists consider this one of the earliest examples of psychological manipulation being used to establish and maintain authority. Before the rise of human-centered deities, spiritual power was typically attributed to natural forces or animals. The Chavín shifted this dynamic, presenting human leaders as divine figures. This fusion of architecture, ritual, and controlled perception not only cemented their influence, but may also have laid the groundwork for the emergence of hierarchical ruling classes in ancient civilizations. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.